Hello viewers, welcome to African Voices in Europe, reaching you live on FS1 television. Remember, I'm your host, Joshua Oyamo, and African Voices, what we do, it's a show where we share the African experience here in Europe. The Africans who live here in Europe come to the studio to share their experience, what they have been passing through, how they got here in Europe, and how life it is for them in general right here in Europe. And today, for the first time, we are taking you down to another country in Africa. We have always had Nigeria guests in the studio, but today we are taking you down to Kenya, where we have Fredrick Mwshimba from Kenya, who is here to share his own experience living in Europe and what it takes to live in Europe. Thank you for coming, Fredrick.
Thank you for having me, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
Let's not forget, Fredrick is a student of FR Salzburg, studying innovation and management in tourism here in Salzburg, a bachelor program in Salzburg. And Fredrick, how are you?
What can I say? I'm good. I'm doing well.
Okay.
Pushing on.
You're pushing on.
Pushing on, yeah. Pushing
Nice.
on. Yeah.
First question I want to ask you, Fredrick.
Go ahead.
What does your name mean? Mwshimba.
Mwshimba, yeah. Purely an African name.
Okay.
Mwshimba is a name which was given by two kids back in the days when lions will visit the villages. There are seasons where lions will visit villages, and they will visit villages because of hunger. They will come and eat the animals which the villagers were keeping. And children who were born in that season, they were called Mwshimba. So I happened to have been named after a grandfather who had been named Mwshimba, so I took over the name. Yeah.
And your name means lion?
Yes, exactly. It's because lions are visiting the village, the season of lions, and that's Mwshimba. So Mwshimba, it's the Shimba part is the lion part. Mwa, it's a syllable which will always be added in the names from the tribe which the name was coming from. Yep.
So it would be right for me to say Fredrick Lion.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Nice. Hope it wasn't difficult for you to get to this place.
Nah, it was not difficult. I live in Salzburg.
Oh,
I live in maybe 3 kilometers away from this place. Yeah, just took a bus and come here. And today I didn't have class, so it worked perfectly. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You know another interesting part of you right now?
Yeah.
The outfits.
Oh, wow, okay. Tell me about it.
I'm really impressed with you dressing in this format to the show. This was nice. And this is what we're talking about, African Voices in Europe.
Yeah.
I expect people that comes to the show, I always tell them, come in your African outfits, African dressing, for people to know, okay, this is who you are.
Yeah.
A lot of people who knows a lot about Africans, seeing you right now, they don't need anybody to explain where you are from.
True.
They already know that, okay, this is an African and this is from
very correct
Kenyan person.
Yeah.
Right. So what was it like, life before Austria?
Back home, I was working.
Okay.
And I have a desire for studies.
Yeah.
I love education.
Okay.
And I had always desired to travel, to study. My idea was if I study outside there, it will give me more exposure.
Yeah, good.
It will give me more experience. There's a reputation of good academic input, especially in the European or out of the countries, America, education system. So I desired inside my heart to study. And as I was working, I came across an invitation to apply for a scholarship here in Austria, a scholarship which was being given by ADC. ADC is Ausland Development Cooperation. Okay. And they sponsored me. They gave me a scholarship to study a diploma in tourism management and teacher training. So after I successfully finished that, I thought of applying to Fachhochschule, University of Applied Sciences in Salzburg. And I applied for innovation and management in tourism, which I'm currently doing in my 2nd semester now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came here with a scholarship?
Yes, I came here with a scholarship.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So what was it like? How did your family accept the fact that you were moving to Austria?
What I can say, it was a mixed reaction.
Okay.
In one part, they were happy. In the other part, they were not happy. Because I'm the firstborn.
Oh, sure.
And of course, there's this element whereby you give people courage, encouragement, and you are kind of a rock in your siblings and your parents. They look at you and say, we have hope in this young man, and if he succeeds, everyone else succeeds.
Yeah.
So yes, there was mixed reaction, especially I think my mom was affected most because, you know, mothers like seeing their kids around them.
Yeah.
But my dad on the other side was very happy, yeah, seeing that his son at least is going outside there to explore the world. And as I've said, it's like I was creating a slipstream. They believe if I was able to come, then these others also will come. Or I will be able also to make others have more courage to make that decision. Yeah. So that's what I can say. It was a mixed reaction.
Yeah, I can totally relate to what you're saying right now because I'm also an African and I'm also the firstborn. So I know what it takes for family to feel the way they felt when their firstborn is always leaving the house. So can you describe your first experience when you arrived in Austria?
What can I say? One of the things which really somehow was a frustration or something that I couldn't really handle is the ability for me to communicate.
Okay.
I believe I'm a communicator.
Yeah.
So whenever I find myself in a situation whereby what I'm saying, no one is understanding it or it's being misinterpreted, it was, I can say, somehow frustrating. And I think that is one of the areas that I prepared myself psychologically in all other things other than language. You know, I couldn't fathom that I can communicate and no one will understand me.
Understand what you're saying.
Or someone will tell me, no, repeat, or someone will misinterpret what I've said. So yeah, I mean, for me, the language barrier really has really affected me. That's what I can say. The language barrier was one of my downtime here in Austria. Yeah, because living in our country, we have people speak several languages. Yeah. And it's hard if you go into a community and not communicate because we have what we call a national language. So no matter how interior a place is, you will always find a language that someone can understand you. But here everyone speaks German, preferably. And I had not mastered my German language. I'm still working on it. And I will always tell someone, if you're going to Europe, kindly check which language they speak. Okay, according to me. You
have to learn the language.
Yes, you have to learn the language.
Some important words of the language before you go to the place.
Before you go. But which I wish I knew because I had around 6 months to prepare. I wish I had enrolled in a German course, you know. But it happened. That's what happened,
And this was 2023?
This was 2023 September.
That's when I was leaving. This is 2025?
This is 2025.
How is the language now?
I'm not badly off. At least I can communicate.
You can communicate.
I can ask for water and I'll be given.
I understand. You can pick some things there.
Of course.
So what was the most biggest cultural shock for you? Because right now, the way you dressed alone shows that you're a cultural person. You like culture.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest cultural shock for you?
The biggest cultural shock. As I have told you, I prepared myself psychologically in cultural shock in any other areas other than language. But the other thing which made me not feel too much shock on culture is I grew up in the city. And our cities back home, you know, they kind of adapt other cultures, especially from the Western world.
Yeah.
So I was not bad, and then I was working in the tourism sector. So I've interacted with people in the Western world. So culturally, I will say, according to behavior, I was not shocked that much. And then the other thing which made me not be shocked a lot is the school which we were being offered the scholarship, we were given something like a buffer. And I will say it's a buffer because because they were inviting people from many other countries. I think we were around 16 nations in that school that year. So it was a buffer. But by the time you get a shock in the culture, it's later when I started doing my internship. And we had already been taught about culture. This is what we expect in Austria. We had a whole intercultural class in the school. So what I can say maybe is and especially in Salzburg, people closing up shops on Sunday. So if you not plan yourself well,
True.
If you don't plan yourself well, I mean,
you end up being hungry.
You'll be locked out. You'll stay without staff until the next Monday, next week.
True.
Yeah.
So now, you made mention that you had issues. You prepared yourself psychologically, but not the language. You prepared yourself for cultural shock because you were taught, you had experience with some Europeans, tourism people back in Kenya.
Yeah.
So how did you adjust to the food and the weather condition of this place?
Wow, the food.
Yeah.
Now, the food really affected me.
Okay.
Because especially the part of too much wheat, too much refrigerated food, especially during winter. That one was, it was hard to adjust. Sometimes you don't feel like eating anymore. I mean, and then at the very beginning, I didn't have opportunity to cook for myself what I want or what my heart would want. Yeah, so I found myself really missing home because of food. Sure. Yeah, and I really wish how I took for granted the food we are normally prepared by our mothers back home. Yeah, and food affected me. About the weather, no, not much. Yes, it was my first time to interact with snow, but I grew up in the mountains back home. I grew up in the mountains when I was young, and it was pretty cold. Yes, not to the negatives, but my body was able to adjust very fast, depending on the matter of weather, especially during winter, because winter is the harsh one. Yeah. But surprisingly, this summer is extremely tough. I've never experienced such temperatures.
Really?
Yeah.
Even back in Africa?
Even back in Africa, the temperatures here were very high. I mean, so high. I felt I'm in the coast of Kenya when I was here, and here there's no any coast, you know? Yeah. I felt, I mean, somewhere in Mombasa in Kenya.
I understand.
The temperatures were very high for me during summer. Yeah, very high. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
So, but you could adjust.
Yes, I adjusted. I think I wished those 3 months to pass very fast because.
So now, a quick one.
Was tough.
You missed the food back home.
Correct.
So what was your favorite food back in Kenya?
Many.
Can you give us like 3?
3?
Yeah.
I like pilau so much.
Pilau?
Yeah, pilau is a mixture of meat and rice. Okay. I think in Nigerian guys call it jollof, but
jollof rice?
Pilau, yeah.
Okay.
So, but we have pilau full of spices. Yeah. Somehow I love sweet potatoes so much.
Oh, sweet potato.
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah.
Oh, you have potatoes here in Salzburg too.
Yeah, but you know how much they cost.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So once in a while, I find myself preparing them. But yeah, I love sweet potatoes. I love fish. I love nyama choma.
Oh, nyama choma.
Grilled meat or roasted meat. Yeah.
Called nyama choma.
Nyama choma, yeah. It's super sweet. Don't come to Kenya and fail to meet it. I mean, have a time and grab nyama choma.
So whenever I'm in Kenya, I should look for nyama choma.
Yeah, ask any local to take you to have some nyama choma.
Okay.
Yeah, and ugali.
You can hear very well. Fredrick is just telling us now that anytime you are in Kenya, look for nyama choma.
Yes, correct.
Nyama choma, very tasty food. Yeah. So what has been the biggest challenge for you so far as an African student in Europe?
What can I say? The biggest challenge has been to adopt into the education system. Okay. I come from a country where the education is very rigorous, very tough, very pushing, and I would like to apply the same energy and strength in here. But here it's a little bit relaxed. It is not too much pressure. Yeah, the standards are high. You are able to be taught what is going on in the world. Yeah. You are assured that if you start your degree in 2024, you will finish by 2027. Something which sometimes back home it's not
a different case.
This is a different case. Yeah. But yeah, ideally that. But I'm thankful for the fact that I went through that background of a vigorous training because it helps me here to manage everything. The other part is I have to work at the same time so that I'm able to sustain myself here. Yeah. But I can't complain about the education system. It is not hard. It is not easy. It is in between there.
In between.
Yeah.
So any comparison between the educational system in Austria and back in Kenya?
What I can say here, they don't give their students pressure. Yeah, that is something that I really admire. They will allow you to do your level best. I mean, you do according to your ability.
Yeah.
You do according to your ability. Yes, there's ranking of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is an opportunity of doing retakes. But they will not compare you, or they will not come and say, they will give you opportunities for you to ensure you repeat until you succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ranking is not there to intimidate you or to make you feel as if you're not a good person in academia, but it is there to show the best and the least best, but you will not know who has performed how.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is something powerful. The fact that also they are bringing people in the industry into our classrooms, it's also a plus.
So you hear from real experience people.
Yes. Several career days.
Yeah.
So you are able also to make decisions very early on which path you're going to take.
Yeah. So you started with tourism management and teacher training.
Yes.
That's where you started from, in Salzburg.
Yeah.
So what led to you doing this? Why did you choose this career path?
Basically, home, I had a diploma in logistics and transport management.
Okay.
But fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't go to the logistics part, not in dealing with containers, dealing with maritime and all those things. I went to human logistics, where I found myself working in tourism industry, especially coordinating transport.
Yeah.
So that motivated me also now to study about tourism.
Oh, okay.
So when that opportunity of doing tourism management and teacher training came, I took it. I love teacher training because it motivates me to impart others. I believe I can give what I don't need to die with what I had or I have accumulated. I need to pass it on to other people. Yeah, that's why I did teacher training. A very impactful course, by the way. Yeah. If you ask me, I think how they teach people to become teachers here, it's very different.
Very different from what you experience in Kenya.
Yeah, what experience. Teachers here are doing their job. Yeah, they are really dedicated to their work. The teacher comes into a lesson to teach a lesson, then you see truly this teacher was prepared for the lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, in Kenya, you've been in the tourism industry.
Yeah.
And back here in Salzburg, you are still in the field of tourism.
Correct.
Studying tourism.
Yeah.
So what will you say is there about the tourism in Africa and that's in Europe?
The tourism in Africa, we are not taking it serious.
Good.
Yeah, I would say that straight up.
Straight up. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I think, sorry for continuing, I think back in Nigeria as well, we have a lot of tourist attraction that we are not using. We are not utilizing these opportunities of tourists coming to Nigeria. So I guess that is what you mean by you said we are not...
Especially, there are some exceptions.
Okay.
We have Morocco, which is doing very well, accepting around 14 million tourists every year.
In Morocco?
Morocco, yeah. Morocco is doing very well. Egypt is doing very well. They are, I think, accommodating almost 13 million every year. But in sub-Saharan Africa, Kenya, and its surroundings, I have a feeling we are not doing well. Because, like our country, I think we have, the maximum we have ever absorbed is 2.1 million. And we feel we are doing very well. No.
Oh, we are not actually doing well.
We are not doing well at all. We are not doing well at all because a city like I mean, here, they have talking about 10 million.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people come to Austria.
Exactly.
Salzburg.
Yeah. I mean, so, and it's a small city, you know? So for me, I can say we are not taking it serious, straight up. We need to do something about it.
And what do you think we should do about it?
A lot, putting mechanism in its place.
Okay.
The way we run our tourism industry back home is like a side hustle. We're not taking it seriously as a business. Yes, there are some steps I can accept that our country has done in terms of tourism, marketing. They're doing very well, very good marketing, which it's kudos, but there's some issues they need to restructure. How they're marketing themselves, especially because we have so many things to market.
Yeah.
We don't market our culture. We are a safari country, so we find ourselves marketing beach, safari. Yeah, we're not marketing agriculture. We're not marketing it. Here they have a whole wine tourism, which they're exploiting. So why can't we market our tea, which we do plant tea very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to see those. We want to come people to market our culture. One of the things which Austria is doing very well is to market their culture. They put on their traditional dresses every now and then, every occasion.
Super.
I mean, we are not marketing our culture. So a lot. That will be another session that we have to talk about tourism.
Yeah.
We will to restructure it. It's another whole session that we can talk about it.
That is so nice hearing from you, because it's a very big problem for me when I got here and I see the way that the people of this town promote their culture. They uphold their dressing style. It's something that wowed me out. And I keep asking myself, why is it back in Nigeria we are trying to let go of our traditional outfits? And coming to the white man's land, they are always putting on this outfits. They do it with so much pride.
Festivals.
Festivals.
Yeah.
So another question I wanted to ask, do you think there's a reason why the certain part of Africa are doing well, like Egypt, Morocco? You agree with me, they're certain part of Africa. Why the Western African and the Sub-Saharan Africans are not doing well in tourism? Do you think there's a reason for that?
If you look at Egypt, for example, Egypt, it's majorly on historical tourism. Yeah, the pyramids and all that. And all it has done is to promote it. I went to ITB Berlin last year, and I went to the stand, the Egypt stand.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, they are serious about it. They are serious about it. And all their marketing is pyramids. Yeah. And the reason why I think they are good at it is because I think they depend on it a lot, because it's a country which maybe it is not that blessed in terms of rain and soil. So they truly know what it means for tourism. So I think it's their backbone in one way or the other. So that's why I think they are doing it very well. But Kenya is tourism also can be a good thing. I know it's the third one, which in terms of GDP contribution. And but it can bring more GDP. It could
be number one if we actually pay attention to those things like you made mention of.
Yeah.
So now, Fredrick, Mwshimba.
Yeah,
let me call you the lion.
Yeah, the lion. Yeah,
the lion.
Yeah.
How do you spend your free time right here in Austria?
So I have made some few friends.
Okay.
Do I really have free time, by the way? Yes, I have, but not much. I have some few friends, some Austrian friends, some African friends. So we make it intentional to meet. Most of the times, maybe I'm free only 1 day or 2 days, just to visit and see Austria as a country, see how they have developed their country. Once in a while, going to one of the European countries, just to see and to explore, to get exposure. So that's how I spend it. Mostly hanging out with 1 or 2 friends.
So, talking about timing, you hardly have free time.
Yeah, correct.
Is it the same thing with being in Kenya?
No.
Oh,
it's not the same thing.
So in Kenya, you had more time.
Yeah, of course, I have more time back home. My time here is mainly occupied by education and work. So I work from Monday. I study from Monday to Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday I'm working, and then on Sundays when I am free. So it is in this particular day. Yeah, I need to rest a little bit. So if I really need to meet people, I have to meet them maybe after class. We arrange something there. Or maybe Sunday, some few hours. Yeah. But you really need to plan and to be intentional for you to meet with your friends.
So what are those misconceptions from people in Kenya about Europe that you witnessed when you didn't know about these things until you got to this place?
I think the conception that it's a land of milk and honey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. that you'll just land here and things will just work out. No.
It's not so.
It's not so. You have to put work in place. You have to be strategic. You have to impress. I'm not saying impress in terms of of being overly impressive, but you have to, the same way you are applying for a job back home and to be accepted.
Yeah.
At workplace. You have to do all those things. You have to apply for work. You have to go to work. You have to do your job. Yeah. And people should prepare. I came from home very qualified. Yeah. Very qualified. Grew up in the ranks. But when you come here, it's like that qualification, they may not value it.
They just drop it somewhere.
They will put it somewhere else. So if you come with that mentality that I was qualified home and I want these people should know that I'm qualified, you might be disappointed. Yeah, so you have to humble yourself to learn from them. And to, yes, that's what I've learned, that's what I observed. Yeah, because yes, there are very young people at the age of 25, 26 who are managers. Yeah. But these people start working from the age of 15 years. So at 25, they have 10 years experience.
Experience already.
Yeah, so us at 25 is when we are graduating from university. You know, someone has 10 years experience.
Than you.
Yes. Yeah, so you have to humble yourself and learn. Accept to learn, accept, yes, I don't know. Yes, I came from where I came from knowing, but here I don't know. So you humble yourself, you start from there. Yeah. If you remain big-headed and you want to do what you did home, you might find it a little bit difficult. Yes.
So now you're working right here in Austria and you're schooling at the same time.
Yeah.
As an African, has it been easy for you to integrate into the society, into the workforce?
Yeah. Let's go back to language.
Yeah.
Language is a very big weapon, which I've come to learn. And sometimes at workplace, at school, there's no problem because you are taking an English course.
Yeah.
So you are able to interact with people. But at work, there's a challenge. The challenge is the language. You might experience people avoiding you, not because they don't like you, but because they have difficulty. They are wondering, okay, if I want to give Fred instruction, how am I going to do it? So you'll find themselves not engaging with you too much, not because they don't like you, but because they have difficulties even themselves to communicate what they want to you. Yeah. So that is the thing. So you might find yourself a little bit lonely at work, and you might think you are being sidelined, but that is not the issue. The issue is they're also having difficulties to communicate something to you. But with time, as you're also learning the language and they realize you're interested in learning the language, you see them coming closer and closer. Yeah. And also your dedication in work. Contributes a lot. Yeah.
So viewers, wherever you're watching us from all over the world, this is African Voices in Europe. And we are in the studio with Fredrick Mwshimba, the lion himself. And we're sharing his experience living here in Europe. He's a Kenyan living in Europe. With his outfit, you can already tell that he's from Kenya. And he has been sharing the light and his experience living in Europe, or what life it is for him in Europe. So Fredrick, if you are to bring one thing from Kenya to Europe, this thing should be done in Europe, like, what would that be?
They should be more welcoming. They should be friendly.
Okay.
They should accept that this guy is new. He's trying to learn. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I think that is what we have back home. That I will accept you're new. I will accept that we need to learn some ropes and to go up. Yeah. I will also encourage them to learn another language. Yeah, English.
That should also learn another language. Yeah. So communication will be more easy for you people.
Yeah, more easy. Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah. So that, I think that if there is something, especially the language, I'll just tell them, hey guys, just adjust a little bit. And
don't be rigid.
Yeah, you are too rigid in terms of language. And just a little bit and accept this English language also. Yeah, but I accept them. I accept the fact that they have upheld their culture.
Yeah.
That one is something that I will take here and take back home. I'll tell them, guys, let's uphold our culture. We are diluting it too much. It's not bad. You know, there's no bad culture and good culture. We only had bad goods and bad deeds. You know, all cultures have deficiencies and insufficiencies. Yeah, so let's uphold our culture. It makes us to be unique.
You know, Fredrick, with this thing you just said, I think I will just start calling you Lion from today. No more Fredrick. I'll just call you Lion. So that was supposed to be my next question. You just answered it because I think I've been an advocate of this culture.
Yeah.
We stick to our culture.
Yeah.
We always preaching and teaching the younger generation our culture.
Yeah.
Because in Nigeria, I think these things are being abolished gradually. We are letting them go on a gradual process. Meanwhile, we are taking somebody else's culture. You don't expect a German to get up and give his or her child Mwshimba.
Yeah, absolutely. True, you're right.
But you're bearing Fredrick.
Yeah.
Which is a German name.
Correct.
You see?
Yeah.
So now you find out in Nigeria, a lot of people, like I've been saying, even back in Nigeria before I came to, I keep saying it. You have somebody bear 2 English names, Joseph John. Do you understand?
And they think it's development.
They think it's development, but this is not development. You are totally a lost being. Nobody knows where you are from. But now I said Fredrick Mwshimba. Despite the fact that the Fredrick is an English name, the Mwshimba tells whosoever is listening to that, okay, that is an African name.
Yeah.
If a person have an idea of where Mwshimba is from, he knows, okay, that is a Kenyan name. So now, if you have to take one thing, I'm going to ask you again. Maybe that is still going to be your answer, or you have another answer. If you are taking one thing from here back to Africa, what would that be?
From here?
Yeah, to Africa, to Kenya.
Back to Africa? Yeah, let's stick to our culture.
Our culture. Thank you so much for coming on our show today, Fredrick.
You're welcome, sir.
It was a nice time talking to you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your experience that you've shared with Africans. You've all listened to Fredrick. And Fredrick, before we go, the final words, what will you say to people who are planning to also have opportunity to come and study here in Europe, or people who want to travel to Africa and who have misconception about Africans?
Number one, for those who want to come to Europe, let them come.
Okay.
Come in numbers. Come and learn how people are doing things here. We are living in a global world. I am advocating for people to become global citizens. Yeah. And come learn, go back home and implement. I mean, implement things, ensure systems are working, because the major difference we are having here between Kenya and Austria is Austria's systems are working. Back home, we revive system every 5 years. Every 5 years, we are reviving system. Every 5 years, we are reviving systems. There's no continuity, and it's really hurting us. Yeah, we have very brilliant people back home. We have educated people back home, and it hurts me, especially when we have all these brilliant minds and they can't put systems in place which work continuously. Yeah, we always revive them and jumpstart them every year, every 5 years. It really hurts me. And that is the major difference. The difference is the systems here are working. Back home, they are kind of struggling. For Europeans who are coming to Africa, come in droves, come in numbers, come in thousands. Let's integrate. We are all humans. The difference might be the color or language or how I pronounce my words, but we are all humans. We should accommodate each other. We belong to the same origin, I believe. And the more integrated we are, the more powerful we are going to become. These borders that have been put in place, I think they are dividing us more than bringing us together. Yeah. Let's accept each other the way we are. Let's not say someone is superior and the other one is inferior. There is no superior and inferiority in human being. Yeah, we are all equal.
So, Fredrick, which tourist attraction do Kenyan have that you advise a European to go and see?
Oh, we are land of, let me use what my tourism board always markets for. We are land of safari. We are land of going for safari, game drives. We have a beautiful beach coming there for those who are not after animals. We have cultural festivals. At least we are trying. Let them come and experience the cultural festivals. Yeah.
And what time specific does this cultural festival happen?
It depends with which culture.
Okay.
Remember, Kenya, we have more than 43 tribes. I've just put on one of the tribes' regalia.
Okay.
So it depends, but they are always advertised in the website.
Yeah.
They're always advertised in the Magical Kenya website.
Kenya website.
Yeah.
Nice to have you in the studio.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, sir.
And that was our show. Before we go, Lion, let me call you Lion now. I want you to say something for us in your language, because you have been talking about language, talking about culture.
Yeah.
I want you to say to the viewers, keep watching African Voices in Europe on FS1 in Kenya.
Yes, I will speak to a language which almost each and every Kenyan understands.
Okay, good.
It's a national language.
Okay.
It's called a Swahili language.
Okay, yeah.
So, tafadhalini, endeleeni kutazama kipindi cha Afrika, sauti za Afrika hapa Europa. Asanteni sana.
Wow. I have no idea of what you just said, but I believe you said, keep watching African Voices on FS1 television. And that was our show for today. I remain your host, Joshua Oyamo, and you have been watching African Voices in Europe on FS1 television here in Salzburg. Thank you for coming, Fredrick. Till we'll come your way next time. It's a bye-bye for now.